Hello ladies, I wanted to come on here and just do a quick little chat about how homework will work in the sisterhood and explain a little bit about the workbook I'm sending off to you. So homework is one of those things that, depending on who you are and how you grew up, you might love it, you might totally hate it. It is up to you how you want to tackle or view homework in the group. So I'm going to be sending out a workbook. It's going to vary each month, but you're always going to have a little something extra to do in the sisterhood, and you are more than welcome to do this. I try to make them as simple, streamlined as possible, so you're not going to see a lot of fluff in there. This is really to help you get super clear around the themes for the month and how they apply to your personal life and your business life. And so the workbook I'm sending out now is around priorities, core values, saying no, and simplifying. Basically our compass for how we're going to organize ourselves around our big goals for our business for the year. A lot of you said you wanted clarity. This is something that should, by the end of it, if you do it, provide a lot of clarity for you. I doubt it, very highly doubt it, that at the end of it, you'll be like, there's no reason for doing that. So I hope you want to do it, but if not, homework is not supposed to be overwhelming. I am not your teacher in that sense where I'm going to track you down for your homework and give you grades, but it is a way that I really do want you to use the sisterhood and use me as your business coach, because super valuable. You're in the membership, you're here to stay, you're paying for it, you're doubling down on yourself and your business and like involved in the program. There's no reason not to use this in some capacity, because you will get direct feedback from me around your answers. And so you can either do the workbook, or in your resources folder or in your Small Business Sisterhood, there's a tab that says homework. You can click on there, you'll see the workbook for the month or the standard homework questions. You can answer these questions. They're basically about like, what sort of progress are you making? What are you struggling with? So I can actually give you some loving feedback and help. And if both of those things still feel overwhelming, you can literally just send me an email saying, this is what I did in my business, this is what I'm struggling with, or just say like, hey, I'm checking in, feeling really good around my business. This is what I could use a little help with. Or maybe you don't need help at all. You're just like wanting some accountability there. So those are the ways to submit homework. You just email them, any of those, to info@scatteredtosimple.com. info@scatteredtosimple.com. I think that's it. As far as like homework goes, in general, for the month of January, the prioritization homework, and we will talk more on our call today. I hope to see you all there. The first prompt is around our pillar of core values. So this is asking you to really label and define your core values and use these as a compass. And then there's, some questions on ways that you can use it moving forward this week, and also ways that you might abandon these core values. Second is saying no to say yes. So this is where we can practice saying no, and you're going to have some prompts to get you thinking about ways that you might be able to say no, so you can free up some time for your true priorities. And also to look at some things that are stealing our focus right now. And so this includes not just your typical distractions like Facebook and Instagram. This includes triggers, resentments, relationships, things that we don't necessarily view as distractions, but are absolutely stealing our time. Like if I was talking to a live audience right now, I'd ask you to raise your hand if you ever wasted 15 minutes thinking about a conversation that you wanted to have with someone that you were mad at. These are things that steal our focus and steal our time as well. So this is really challenging you to take a deeper look at that. That's the focus section. There's a couple more prompts, like asking you to kind of take a look at what excuses you might make for yourself and what things, productive things, like me, it's doing laundry, cleaning the house. These, I can always do these, decluttering, as opposed to diving into the work that I need to do. Pillar 3 is about buckets and big goals. This is where you're going to divide your life and priorities into buckets. So these are like the main things that are your true priorities, and figure out a way to commit to moving the needle forward in those buckets this week, or at least let's say by the 23rd, which is when your homework is due. And putting things in this context kind of will challenge you to see maybe there's some buckets that are getting a lot of attention that you don't really want to be getting a lot of attention, and some things that maybe need a little more attention that you think you're giving the attention to. A lot of times this is like your marriage or a certain relationship that kind of gets put on the back burner, and figuring out a way that you might be able to prioritize that a little bit better. We go from there into my favorite, which is simplify everything. So once you've done all this work or this writing, you can look at it from the context of, is this the simplest version of this? Or is there a simpler way? And I love these questions because it basically takes us from up here and it drops it into down here of like, oh, is there a simpler way to do this? Like, is there a simpler way to get quality time with my husband that isn't like going on a private trip with him? There's, 15 minutes that we could put aside before we go to bed at night and ask each other some more intimate questions. Like, there's always, in my experience, there's always a simpler way. And so part of the sisterhood is helping you drop into that and always kind of looking at things from that context. So this is our first little go round at that. I am super excited. There's also a monthly challenge, which is just building awareness around these areas, and also practicing saying no. And my favorite of all, and something you guys aren't doing, but I want to see you doing more of, and I think that we'll get more into a practice of this, is using the brag board. There's a link to the brag board in a bunch of emails that I've sent you, but the brag board is where you come on and you brag about yourself and the progress that you've made. This could be, I said no to this thing and this is how I feel, or I called that client, or I booked an enrollment call, or I responded to 10 emails that I've been avoiding forever. Like, these are things that we're coming on to brag to our sisters about, so that we can get support and also like be seen and acknowledged for all of the beautiful work that we're doing in our life and businesses. So use it. That's it. Email me once you finish this. So again, you can either do the workbook, highly suggested, but not necessary if it's feeling overwhelming. You can answer the questions that are in your homework folders, should be a bit easier and take less time. And then also there's always just emailing me your progress, what you did well, what you want to acknowledge yourself for, or what you're struggling with, or what you're struggling with. All right, I will see you on the call today. Bye-bye.